Welcome back. Today is Holy Saturday. Yesterday we talked about Good Friday and Jesus' crucifixion and death on the cross. And then he's laid into the tomb. We had the scene of Mary and Martha facing the tomb and praying. And as the day breaks, they go back and they begin preparing everything for the burial of Jesus. All the perfumes and oil to anoint his body and different things like that. And his apostles are in the upper room. Obviously, they're in this state of fear because they've lost their Messiah. They've lost the person who has brought them along in this journey for the last few years of their lives, preaching the gospel. And so as they're hiding in the upper room, and the women are preparing the oils to anoint Jesus, Jesus is doing something too. He's actually living out the last moment of the messianic prophecy. And so we know from our creed that Jesus dies on the cross and then enters hell. And so he goes to what the Jewish people would have called Sheol, the realm of the dead, to save the people who were in the bosom of Abraham. So this is every good and righteous person that has died before Jesus has died. And so Jesus, he storms the gates of hell. And he goes in and he begins preaching the gospel to the people who were dead before him, to open up the gates of heaven. And there's a beautiful painting that I saw one time that shows the crucifixion. And it shows Jesus buried in the tomb. And then the next scene is that Jesus actually enters into this realm of the dead. And he's searching for Adam, almost like the parable of the lost sheep. And so as Jesus goes and he's searching, he finds Adam, and Adam cries out that the Lord is there. And Jesus reaches out his arm, and they hold hands, and the next scene in the picture is Jesus pulling Adam up to heaven. And the Catechism of the Catholic Church in 633 talks about what it was like for Jesus to enter in. And it quotes, it's a homily that is used from an ancient text that was given on that first Holy Saturday, traditionally known as Black Saturday because of the darkness that enshrouds everything, the despair that the apostles and Mary Magdalene would have been feeling. And I want to read part of that homily to you because I think it's very beautiful and very important to recognize what happened today for Jesus as he's fulfilling this last messianic mission. He has gone to search for our first parent as for a lost sheep, greatly desiring to visit those who are in darkness and in the shadow of death. He has gone to free Adam and Eve. The Lord approached them, bearing the cross, the weapon that had won our victory. At the sight of him, Adam, the first man he had created, struck his breast in terror and cried out to everyone, "My Lord be with you all." And Christ answered, "And with your spirit." He took him by the hand and raised him up, saying, "Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead. Christ will give you light. I am your God, who for your sake became your son. Out of love for you and for your descendants, I now by my own authority command all who are held in bondage to come forth. All who are in darkness are to be enlightened. All who are sleeping will arise. I order you, O sleeper, to awake. I did not create you to be held prisoner. Rise from the dead, for I am life of the dead. Rise up, work of my hands. You who are created in my image, rise, let us leave this place, for you are in me and I am in you, and together we form only one person, and we cannot be separated. For your sake, I, your God, became your son. I, the Lord, took the form of a slave. I, whose home is above the heavens, descended to the earth and now beneath the earth. For your sake, for the sake of man, I became like a man, without help, free among the dead. For the sake of you who left the garden, I was betrayed in a garden and was crucified in a garden. So a lot of times we understand Good Friday and what it means. And we understand the triumphant victory of death in Easter Sunday. Today, we need to be able to reflect on in our darkest hour as Christians, that as Jesus is in that tomb, he is still living out a mission of preaching the good news to those who have gone before him. We thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope that you will follow all of the masses that we're providing, which include tonight's Easter Vigil. The Vigil is one of the most incredible celebrations that we have in the church. If you've never participated in part of the Vigil, I encourage you to do so, obviously online this year and sometime in the future years. The whole church is in darkness, and everybody comes in with a candle, holding the candle. And suddenly, as we enter in, as we process into to witness the readings, you go from the very beginning of creation and throughout Genesis, through all of salvation history, that leads us up to this moment where Jesus is in the tomb, and the lights come on, and we begin to celebrate the resurrection. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for our final reflection on Holy Week as we celebrate Easter Sunday. Again, from all of us here at All Saints, we ask that you continue to pray for us, and we are continuing to pray for you. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow.